These are the 5 signs that you will become rich one day. Signal number 1, you value time more than money. If you constantly trade your time for money, dahasni kurmansin, and nothing else, you'll likely stay stuck in the same financial cycle forever. But if you've started seeing time as your most valuable asset, that's one of the clearest signs you're on the path to wealth. Warren Buffett often says time is the friend of the wonderful business, the enemy of the mediocre. But he's not just talking about investing, he's talking about life. People who become rich understand something that the majority ignores. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. That shift in mindset changes everything. It's why Buffett avoids unnecessary meetings. It's why he doesn't spend hours chasing every opportunity. It's also why he spends most of his day reading and thinking. He protects his time like it's gold, because it is. If you've started saying no more often, if you're choosing long-term investments over quick wins, and if you're measuring in decisions based on how much freedom they give you, rather than how much they pay, you're already thinking like the wealthy. This is a mindset very few people develop. Most chase higher salaries, overtime, or side gigs without realizing they're sacrificing the one thing they can never get back. Ask yourself, are you building a life where money works for you, or are you still stuck working for every dollar? The moment you start valuing time over money, you stop being a worker and start becoming an owner. And owners get rich. Most people will never become rich, and the saddest part is they don't even realize why. Wealth doesn't happen by chance. It's not luck, and it's definitely not about working harder than everyone else. The truth? Wealthy people share very specific habits and mindsets. And if you have even one of them, your chances of becoming rich are far higher than you think. But one of these signs matters more than all the others, and it's often the most ignored. Signal number 2, you live below your means when you're proud of it. This might sound simple, but it's one of the rarest habits in America today. Most people, the moment they earn more, they spend more. New job, new car, bonus, expensive vacation, raise, bigger house, and just like that, the lifestyle grows. But the savings don't. Wealthy people do the opposite. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, still lives in the same modest house he bought in 1958. He doesn't buy luxury for status. He buys value, and he keeps his expenses far below his income. Living below your means isn't about being cheap. It's about being free. When you stop trying to impress people, your money starts working for you. Every dollar you don't spend becomes a soldier in your army, investing, compounding, and building your future. According to a study by the Employee Benefit Research Institute, nearly 40% of American households aged 55 to 64 have no retirement savings at all. Why? Because many spent decades living up to, or above, their income level. But if you're someone who feels more satisfaction saving than spending, if you get excited seeing your investment account grow, even when everyone around you is showing off new toys, that's a major sign you're on the path to real wealth. The rich don't look rich, they look smart. And if you've made peace with that and even feel proud of it, you've already done what most can't. The wealth formula is simple for you. There's a harsh truth most people never accept. Becoming wealthy is simple, but almost no one has the discipline to follow through. They want quick money, shortcuts, and overnight results. But, as Warren Buffett puts it, it is not necessary to do extraordinary things to get extraordinary results. In other words, you don't need a genius IQ or insider information to build wealth. What you need is the ability to do the simple things consistently over a long period of time. If you've stopped chasing lottery tickets, if you're no longer tempted by get-rich-quick schemes, and if you're focused on steady long-term growth, that's a powerful sign you understand the real game. Buffett built his fortune through long-term investing, patience, and emotional discipline, not through risk or speculation. He once said, "The stock market is designed to transfer money from the impatient to the patient," and he meant it. Most people fail financially, not because they didn't have the chance, but because they got bored, distracted, or scared. They quit too soon. They switched strategies. They followed trends instead of principles. If you've learned to trust the process, if you're okay with being consistent instead of flashy, if you've made peace with slow success over fast failure, then you're thinking like the wealthy already, and most of the population will never get to that level. If you want to learn all the habits you need to become a wealthy person, subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss any new videos. Signal number 3, you obsess over learning, not earning. If your focus is always on earning more, but you're not learning more, you're already falling behind. The people who build real wealth don't obsess over income, they obsess over insight. Warren Buffett reads 80% of his day. He once said, "Read 500 pages like this every day. That's how knowledge works. It builds up like compound interest." And that's the key. The same principle that grows money grows wisdom. The rich understand this. Wealth follows wisdom, not the other way around. If you're constantly reading, studying, asking questions, and trying to understand how the world works, especially money, markets, behavior, and business, you're building a foundation that few ever do. It's no accident that Buffett, Charlie Munger, Bill Gates, and nearly every billionaire you can name are obsessive learners. They don't consume content to be entertained. They consume it to sharpen their edge. The average person watches hours of TV or scrolls endlessly through social media. The future rich are watching financial interviews, reading books, studying history, and analyzing investment strategies. It's not about a college degree. It's not about formal education. It's about the hunger to grow, the commitment to never assume you know enough, the drive to always improve your thinking. If you've reached a point where you get more excited about a new idea than a new purchase, if you spend more time learning than trying to look successful, then you're already wealthier than most. Even if your bank account hasn't caught up yet. You avoid flashy traps that drain the middle class. There's a hidden trap that keeps millions stuck in the middle class, and most never even realize they've fallen into it. It's the obsession with looking rich instead of becoming rich. Luxury cars, brand name clothes, designer bags, the latest tech gadgets, all bought with credit, leased payments, or high-interest debt. This lifestyle looks impressive from the outside, but behind the scenes it's eating away the very foundation of future wealth. Warren Buffett lives simply not because he can't afford more, but because he knows that real wealth doesn't come from how much you spend. It comes from how much you keep and grow. If you're someone who has learned to ignore the pressure to show off, that's a massive sign you're heading in the right direction. The wealthy buy assets, the middle class buys liabilities that feel like rewards. A 2023 study by LendingTree showed that over 35% of Americans making over $250,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. Not because they don't make enough, but because their spending habits match or exceed their income. If you've chosen to drive a reliable used car instead of financing a luxury model, if you skip the status purchases and instead put that money toward your Roth IRA or brokerage account, if you feel pride, not shame, in living simply while building quietly, you've avoided the biggest financial trap of all, the need to look successful before you are successful. That alone puts you far ahead of the crowd. Signal number 4, you have the patience to wait while everyone else panics. Most people think the rich get richer because they're smarter. The truth is, they're just more patient, especially when the world is losing its mind. Warren Buffett is famous for saying, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." And that principle goes far beyond investing. The people who become wealthy know how to stay calm when everyone else is making emotional decisions. They don't sell in a panic. They don't chase hype. They don't abandon their plan because of fear or noise. During the 2008 financial crisis, while millions were selling everything in desperation, Buffett was buying high-quality stocks at a discount. He wasn't lucky. He was prepared. And he stayed calm. If you've learned to hold steady during volatility, if you don't react to headlines or social media panic, if you're willing to stay the course even when it feels uncomfortable, that's a rare skill. And it's a clear signal that you think like the wealthy. In fact, a 2020 study by Fidelity found that the most successful investment accounts belonged to people who had forgotten they even had them. Why? Because they didn't touch them. They didn't let emotion control their actions. Patience isn't passive. It's powerful. It means you trust your plan. It means you understand the long game. It means you're not looking for validation. You're looking for value. And if you have the discipline to wait while everyone else reacts, You're already doing what 90% of the population can't. You see money as a tool, not a goal. Most people spend their entire lives chasing money and never stop to ask why. They think the goal is to have more, but they never define more for what. Wealthy people think differently. They don't see money as the end, they see it as a means to an end, a tool to buy back their time, expand their freedom, and make a lasting impact. Warren Buffett doesn't obsess over wealth to live a flashy lifestyle. In fact, he's pledged to give away more than 99% of his fortune. Why? Because for him, money isn't about power or status, it's about purpose. If you've reached a point where you care less about money for its own sake and more about what it can do for your future, your family, your peace of mind, you're aligning yourself with the values that truly build lasting wealth. This shift in perspective changes everything. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop chasing empty rewards. You start thinking like a builder, not a consumer. A 2022 Gallup survey showed that nearly 61% of Americans feel anxious about their financial future, even when earning above average incomes. That's what happens when money is your goal, not your tool. The fear never leaves, no matter how much you make. But when you view money as a servant, not a master, you begin using it strategically. You invest in what matters. You prepare for the unexpected. And you move with clarity, not confusion. If this is how you think, you're already wealthier than most will ever be, even if they look richer on the outside. Signal number 5. You take full responsibility for your financial future, no excuses. This is the turning point, the mindset shift that separates the dreamers from the builders. The moment you stop blaming and start owning, everything changes. Warren Buffett once said, "The best investment you can make is in yourself." Now, that's not a motivational quote. It's a declaration of control. Wealthy people don't wait for the government, the economy, or their employer to give them a future. They build it. If you find yourself saying things like, "I can't save because of my job," it's the market's fault. "No one ever taught me how to handle money," then you're giving away your power. But if you've started asking, "What do I need to learn? What am I doing that's holding me back? How can I improve my strategy?" then you've crossed into rare territory. Most Americans are stuck waiting for raises, waiting for better conditions, waiting for someone to tell them what to do. But wealth builders don't wait. They decide, they study, they adjust, they take action, even if they make mistakes. A 2023 CNBC report showed that 68% of U.S. adults have no written financial plan, not because they can't create one, but because they haven't taken responsibility for their future. If you're taking ownership, reading this, seeking knowledge, planning, investing, learning from failures, then you've already activated the most important ingredient of wealth, personal responsibility. It's not about how much you have, it's about how much you're willing to grow. Shink does on purpose, and that is the ultimate sign that one day you will become rich. If you want to learn the key habits to get rich and stay wealthy, subscribe to the channel now.